Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to use one of these, the Hackmotion wrist sensor. Hackmotion have been kind enough to send me the pro version, so we're going to get into some of the data and answer the real big question that's been going on the last 2 or 3 years. Should you have a cupped, flat or bowed left wrist? Let's get into it. So I'm just going to hit 3 or 4 balls and let's have a look at some of the data. So the pro version gives you quite a lot of data about your certain wrist conditions. Now, I've got a feeling mine will tell me I'm a bit extended. Nice little beat, it's got to be a good sign. Okay, good swing, down the middle. Touch more left, but not bad. A little bit more thin, that one. But 3 pretty straight shots and yardages, 164, 165, 162. So I will take all 3 of those. So what's the outcome after looking at the data on the Hackmotion app? Well, at the top of the swing, I actually increase the extension in my left wrist. So you might think, well, surely that would slice. And if it was extended more through strike, you are completely right, especially if the handle is moving towards target, as that can keep the club face quite open. But what you see in the data is that actually I start off with some extension, and as you look at my grip, I've gone more towards a neutral grip nowadays, but it still delivers some extension through my lead wrist. Okay? Then I've gone up to the top, and I've actually increased the amount of extension of my left wrist at the top. But then during the downswing, well, this is the interesting part, it shows that I am decreasing my amount of extension. The key part though, I still haven't gone into flexion. Okay, so flexion would show up on that app as a minus number. So through strike, my lead wrist is still extended, it's just less extended than it was at the top and setup. So I think the hardest part for anybody to really get is how much flexion or extension should you have? And for me, it's already based around the grip. So you've got 3 types of grip. We've got a weaker grip, where we see the thumb of the left hand work straight down the middle of the grip, and we can't really see many knuckles on the glove hand there. We've got a neutral grip, which is kind of where I am nowadays, where we see the lead thumb sit just to the right of the Golf Pride logo, and if it's by my left pocket, I can see a couple of knuckles. Then you've got a stronger grip, which where we see the grip get way out into the fingertips and the left hand sit extremely on top of the club. Now you can see as I go from each one of those grips, you'll be able to see that the amount of extension of my left wrist would increase. So if you have a strong grip, but you're trying to flatten your left wrist at the top because you think that's kind of, it was fashionable and what you're seeing everywhere, you would be over strengthening the club face. In which case, if you get the really strong grip, but you have the bowed left wrist, this should go left, just FYI, it just should go left. So let's super bow at the top. Off the planet left. Okay, so the path was 0. I'm not sure TrackMan can even pick that up because that's gone so left. That's like 45 degrees left. The point being, it's almost like the style of grip you have would lend itself to a certain type of wrist mechanics in a flexion and extension point of view. For me, I would always tend to err on the side of having the slightly stronger or neutral grip and not having to overbow the left wrist at the top. For me and the regular club golfer, trying to deliver a flat left wrist at the top can be really, really difficult. And a lot of people who have sent messages to me on Skillist, I had online lessons or lessons in here, people who have tried to do it actually don't really see much of a benefit. In fact, the strong grip and bowed left wrist type player will tend to hook the ball unless they manage, which is very difficult, to get their left wrist into more extension through strike. And then you can imagine you're going from a bowed left wrist to an extended left wrist through strike. And that's really, really difficult. Bear in mind, this part of your golf swing is over in less than like 0.1 of a second. So it's so, so tough. So that's flexion of the left wrist. My point, however, is that I do have a problem with overextending the lead wrist. This sensor can also be put on your trail hand. And what I mean by overextending your lead wrist is going into too much extension, okay, where you might also see that the right wrist is also fairly straight. Now what this does, even with a strong grip, it gets the toe of the club far too down towards the ground, which can, if it's maintained on the way down, can lead to a very open club face in the downswing, in which case things like scooping, flipping, all of that kind of stuff, hanging back, will just be things that will start to happen because you're trying to hit the ball straight. So if I take my normal grip, which as I said is a kind of a hybrid between neutral and strong, and what I'll do is I'll try and keep my right wrist extended. So we know my numbers were losing extension during the downswing. Let's see if I can maintain it. So off to the right hand side, a path of 4, but a face to path of 6. That ball's going to start right and curve right. Let's have a look at the numbers. So in that swing, we were in 43 in address, which is roughly the same as what we had earlier on. We then went to 49 at the top. Okay, so again, increased it slightly at the top of the backswing. And then at impact, we were still 20 degrees in extension. This is like the big slice arena where we see an overly straight right wrist and we see an overly extended lead wrist. So I've got a really easy drill you can do at home. All you're going to need is grab a coat hanger out of your wardrobe and you're going to hold the section where your trousers would hang like a grip, okay? And this part is going to almost run along the inside of your lead wrist. And all you're going to do is hold it like a normal grip, as best you can, and then you're going to make some back swings where you try to feel as if the inside of the coat hanger is still touching the inside of your lead wrist. If you get too extended, you'll find that the coat hanger comes away from that left wrist, whereas we want to try and feel as if it stays against it. Again, this is if you're too extended. This will really help you get the club face square. It will also help you feel more kind of extension of the right wrist. Okay, that would be a flexion, that would be extension. More extension of the right wrist can help you cover it, help you hit more down on the back of the ball, and most importantly, help you hit it straighter. So we're going to have a little bit of extension through our grip, and then we're going to try and maintain it and feel as if we are keeping the coat hanger against the inside of that left wrist. So as I said, once you've done that a few times, dry, without the club, and then without a ball, you're going to hop into the ball and do it slowly. Like every drill, it needs time to feel normal. So we've got the app running now. So let's try and feel as if we can keep that not too extended in the downswing. Feel too bad, it's gone straighter. Yep, slight pull if anything, which basically means I've squared the blade up, so that's actually not a bad shot. And again, we look at the data. So at address, I was in 36 degrees of extension. You obviously know that by now because of my grip. Then we can see at the top of the backswing, I went to 32, so decreased it slightly. Still in extension, just less extension. I think I've said that 1,000 times. And then through strike at impact, we were still 9 degrees extended, not flexed. Now this is someone who now has a slightly more neutral grip, and I'm still extended through strike, and the ball still went straight. So to answer the question from the beginning, what's best and what suits you? The reality is it really depends on the strength of your grip. I would definitely favor either a neutral or a slightly strong of neutral hold on the club. That would basically mean that you're always going to have more extension in that lead wrist, but because the grip is stronger, you're still going to hit it nice and straight. If you have a neutral grip, but you overextend the left wrist at strike and your right wrist gets too straight, then definitely grab the coat hanger, do a few reps where you feel as if you're trying to keep the inside of the coat hanger against the inside of that lead wrist, and you should really feel as if that trail wrist has more extension to it. This will immediately make you feel as if you're going to compress, you're going to get more energy into the back of the ball, and it should start to pull more. So there you have it, guys. That is how I would use the Hackmotion wrist sensor. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to hit the subscribe button and give it a like for me. There's going to be plenty more videos coming, including a few course tips and a few course vlogs, which I know are always very popular. So thanks again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.